Parliament passes 3 new laws. DPP drops charges against Navon Singh. Exxon to drill 2 new exploratory wells. And another half story about the oil money. I am Enrico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Yesterday, the Parliament concluded debate and passed the amendments to the Juvenile Justice Act. The amendments are now expected to see juveniles be charged jointly with adults for several serious offenses. Their reasoning for the law was that the current criminal justice system often results in witnesses testifying twice, leading to a significant increase in judicial time and expense. So they say. They also approved the Condominium Bill 2022. This legislation now allows for housing units to be owned as individual units in the same building. Half of y'all live in New York, so I really don't need to explain what a condo is. Just know we're getting like foreign now, so good for us. Anyway, the Nurses and Midwives Bill 2022 was also passed. The new legislation seeks to establish the Nurses and Midwives Council to regulate the sector. A part of the regulation will be annual registration and licensing for nurses, including specialist nursing or midwifery. Registers will now be published in the Gazette yearly. Meanwhile, a disciplinary committee will be established to deal with professional misconduct complaints. Speaking of complaints against public servants, so far the Office of Professional Responsibility has received 197 complaints for this year thus far against various police officers, more than double last year's number of 97 complaints. Police neglect and assault are some of the most prevalent complaints received. On Tuesday, APNU AFC said it would be formally recommending to the government that a broad-based national consultation on electoral reform should be held, even as it defended its decision for doing so 6 months after the draft Representation of the People Act was published. According to Norton, they didn't want their opposition to the draft to be seen as political, so they allowed civil society to comment on it first. They ultimately want national consultations for electoral reform to involve the public, civil society, and the parliamentary political parties. It should be modeled after the 1999-2000 Constitution Reform Commission process and must include a multi-stakeholder/expert committee, a consensus chairperson, a public call for oral and written submissions, and several national open forums. That honestly sounds good, so hopefully they'll listen. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2015 Audi A3. It comes with Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, electronic parking brake, back camera, and much, much more. Buy cars for $5 million. All pay as low as $1 million down with around $90,000 monthly, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell me you for this sweet deal. Almost 1 month after Constable Shawnette Bowlers filed a private criminal charge against attorney Navon Singh for his alleged racist attack against her, the Director of Public Prosecutions has discontinued the charge against him. Oh, how shocking! Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have expected that. The DPP did not give any reason for the discontinuation of the private criminal matter. Oh no, oh so surprising, how could this happen? The private criminal charge was filed against the attorney weeks after an official police complaint was filed, and there was no information about charges being filed. The police constable has also filed civil proceedings against the attorney over the alleged incident. That case is still to come up for hearing, although I don't expect that one to end any better for her either. Today, 25-year-old security guard Kadeem Andrews faced the magistrate's court for shooting in the neck Ricardo Polaram, a drunk patron of the bar he was guarding that evening. He was officially charged for discharging a loaded firearm with intent, which was not required to plead to the indictable charge. Andrews was remanded to prison until June 17, 2022. The World Bank has estimated that the attendance of a number of Guyanese school children during the pandemic dropped to about 1/3. Attendance rates in Guyana dropped from 97% in February 2020 to about 64% in July 2021. This was worsened by educational disparities between children in the hinterland communities and those on the coast, which prevented equal access to online learning. Well, the most obvious one being the lack of consistent internet and electricity access throughout the nation. For the best crotch in Guyana, wait, that should read, for all size of clutch disc and pressure plates for heavy-duty truck parts in Guyana, check out Powered Automotive. Get this and other high-quality truck parts at the lowest prices. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry is continuing its anti-Trinity business campaign. Following Keith Rowley's meeting with our president yesterday, his press team announced that an MOU is being established between the two countries to target agriculture, energy, and national security. Well, the Chamber has since issued a press release, rekindling its 2018 call for the government to desist from signing the MOU until Trinidad levels the playing field for Guyanese businesses in Trinidad by ending some of the agreements that prevent them from actually moving into the market. During a 2018 visit to Guyana, Rowley had signed an MOU with the Granger administration, which angered the GCCI. In fact, the Chamber had called an emergency press conference in which its then president, Dio Indar, who's currently minister in this government, cautioned that it could have far-reaching adverse effects on Guyana and its business community. I notice he's noticeably silent on this matter. Now for today's oil update. Exxon is continuing exploration drilling operations at Seabob 1 and Kiru Kiru wells in the Starbrook Block. Kiru Kiru 1 is located approximately 213 kilometers away from the coast, while Seabob 1 is located 175.9 kilometers. Both Exxon and industry analysts have said the resources at the Starbrook Block could more than double in the coming years as exploration operations ramp up. With significant swaths of the massive block still unexplored, more discoveries are likely on the way. It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, K-9 services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? When politicians only tell you half the story. Yesterday, Ashni Singh told the good folks of the National Rum Shop that for the period of April 28, 2020 to January 27, 2022, Ghana received US $81 million in royalty payments. When converted to local currency, this amounted to just over 16 billion Ghana dollars, which on its face sounds great. But it's honestly pathetic when you consider that Kaicha News reported that between 2019 and 2020 alone, Guyana granted US $657 million or 135 billion Ghana dollars in tax exemptions to ExxonMobil. The Auditor General Deodat Sharma in 2021 said that this actually represented 62.75% of total collections by the GRA for this year. This means that the 137 billion Ghana dollars foregone by the government through tax exemptions for that period amounts to 62.75% of what was actually collected by the Revenue Authority. Just terrible when you consider it. So, while Singh and the rest of the party are quick to sing praises about the money we've earned from Exxon, they have been suspiciously silent about the money we're losing to Exxon because of the lopsided deal. The same lopsided deal they promised to address when they got into office, and they talked very loudly about, criticizing every single element of it. Now, I'm not calling for them to renegotiate this contract, as I do believe in the sanctity of contracts, but we, the people, have to ensure that the state doesn't sign another stupid contract like that. And by whatever means is necessary within the democratic system, we need to utilize them. Now for our uncut news, views poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you fear it relates to us. Yesterday, I asked you about the measures the government is putting into place to try to help with the cost of living and how you felt about it. Navindra Lal says, very good move by the government. Meanwhile, I Am Bantu feels they are just a band-aid administration. Well, that's one way of looking at it. And finally, Michael Anthony says, to give the fish and not to teach how to catch has hunger laying around the corner. Set up assembly lines in companies for vehicles, computers, etc. That way we can work and learn at the same time. That's also one idea. You see, I really wish that the government would listen to these ideas. Now, before we get to tonight's question, You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. So the government has just passed 3 new laws, and they're looking to pass even more. Do you think they're good ones, or do you think that they go too far? Or would you even suggest other laws that need to be passed? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.